Tony Schiavone in the ring, and he says, Hangman, come on down. So Hangman comes down.
This starts the night that like every heel, when they came out to talk to Tony Schiavone, they all punked him out and made him like, leave over to the
Tony
corner.
needs to stop it with someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he needs to be like,
look,
finally, like, God
Hangman,
damn it.
yeah, Hangman and Moxley can push me around, but fuck you, Sammy Guevara. And it's like, what the fuck? You know, like, I ain't taking your shit.
Yeah, when Action Andretti finally starts becoming an asshole, like Tony Schiavone just shoves him back. Like,
shut up, nerd.
Yeah.
Get back with your group.
It's from your fucking ramen noodle-headed ass.
Yeah. Essentially, he's like, last week I took Jay White's head off. And then he mentions Colton Gunn. And he says he hit him so hard that he'll probably forget his brother's name. Remember when he actually had the concussion and him and John Moxley were face to face? And he was like, I couldn't remember the name of my son. Look at the parallel of like,
yeah, he's now doing unto others what have been done unto him, right?
And he knows how much that hurts. And he's like, yep. And this isn't even someone like he's necessarily like feuding
no,
with.
This is somebody needs to feel what I feel.
Yeah.
And you will feel what I feel.
And
that's the words I would start using, right? Somebody needs to feel what I feel.
Yeah. So before Hangman could even really say too much, Colton does come out, starts hitting him. Jay White jumps in the ring because Hangman's beating him up. Then Juice Robinson's getting in there. And then Jay White is like, hey, you motherfucker, where you going with the bum leg? Care where this goes. You always know I'm better than you. And he just walks off.
Look, I love this crazy eye Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
Jay White's good. I mean, he's really good at what he does, obviously. Juice Robinson's awesome. Everybody's behind them. It is interesting that, like, Hangman, this storyline is Hangman's just kind of losing his mind. He's being an asshole. And guys that we normally thought were kind of asshole-ish are coming out to be like, hey, quit being a dick. And they're going to try to outnumber him, I guess. Is that what this story is?
That's the part that makes the not weirdest sense to me, but like is the most interesting thing just from a storyline perspective is in the history of all stories, it feels like the heels, the bad guys always have the upper hand with numbers, right? I got, I lead a gang. Here's my
4
gang
on
members.
1. I got to battle out of this. Mm-hmm.
Right. All that, the Batman always battles Joker and Riddler and all that bullshit all at once,
the
right?
Foot Soldiers and the Ninja Turtles. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But with this, the good guys have the numbers advantage. Because if you just watch, not knowing what had happened previously or who these characters were, if you're just like, I'm going to check out wrestling. Oh, what's this? And that's the end of it. You're like, man, Jay White and those guys sure making fun of that cowboy. That's not nice. And then you're like,
this is a bad idea where I think we can get Hangman to lose a couple of small feuds with this character and still make it have legs because he gets increasingly fucking psychotic about it. Jay White beats him here because he's outnumbered. He's going to be like, God. And then somebody else is going to be having a match and he's going to be like, you, right? And then he's going to go like, get mad at them. I don't know, Sammy Guevara, right? And then Sammy Guevara beats him and he'll be like, what the fuck, right? And he's just losing his mind until we finally push it forward. What do we do here? What is there a purpose for this new changed Hangman? Do we have an idea yet?
I don't know, but I don't think it should end. I like Crazy Hangman.
Definitely not ending yet. Anytime, no.
However, I think the coolest part you could do with this would be to end it in this way. He loses to Jay White, and then he loses to Austin Gunn. Then he loses to Juice, but then he jumps him backstage. I'm taking them all out. And they beat him down basically into submission where he's on the ground after they've all kicked him in the head. Because then they could go back to being the bad guys, right? They kicked him in the head. They hit him with chairs. Yeah. And he's just laying there. And you could go to a shot where he's like, essentially, you wouldn't have him say this, but the shot would be, man, I'm fucked up. Like, this is rock bottom.
I would flip it. I'd almost have him like happy and relieved that like it's been enough. He finally suffered enough, or you know what I mean, felt enough pain to like turn around, right? That it'll be like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, have him gone a couple weeks, and then he could be like, "Dude, was I not the craziest person here?" And like, yes. Like, I don't know, man.
He just comes back out of nowhere, old music again, butterfly jeans on. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Donating
with
money
his
to
progressive
teachers.
agenda and all that.
Yeah,
exactly. We'd all be like, yeah.
Yeah. And he could just be like, and he just owns it because that would be what Hangman would do. Now that would be honest, like a great tidbit to the story of Hangman because he owns his insecurities and his shortcomings, so that if when he does get back on the other side, if he could just be like, hey man, I was fucked up.
No, you know what he needs to do?
You know
What was the disease Randy Orton said? He had the intermittent explosive disorder. He needs to come out,
Yeah.
right? And be like, look, I have a doctor's note.